Hong Kong protests have entered their 11th week, but unlike previous demonstrations that were marred by violent clashes between police and protesters, last Sunday's movement was relatively peaceful.
More than 1 million residents braved the bad weather to demand for democracy and investigations into alleged police brutality. Mian Los Baños is in Hong Kong and filed this report.
Victoria Park in Causeway Bay transformed into a sea of umbrella as around 1.7 million people braved the rain to join the protest led by the Civil Human Rights Front on Sunday.
Democracy now! Democracy now! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Democracy now!
The crowd then marched from Causeway Bay to Central, prompting authorities to close down major roads in the area. Protesters briefly stopped at Central as the road is occupied by Filipino migrant workers who usually meet up there in their free time. Demonstrators waved this white banner bearing their demands from the government.
We can show to the world once again that Hong Kong people can be totally peaceful. And we also have brave people and we have peaceful protesters. So we can do our protest in many different ways.
These include calls to junk the proposed extradition bill, an independent investigation into alleged police brutality in past protests, and efforts to conduct fair and impartial elections without China orchestrating the outcome. After several clashes between riot police and protesters in the past weeks, the march on Sunday has been relatively peaceful. But according to some of the organizers, this doesn't mean they're stopping anytime soon.
Hong Kong people have always been peaceful. It was the government's ignorance and their arrogance that make a lot of young protesters feel that they have no other ways to protest except to do more radical actions. However, we see that as they have always been beaten and being the victim of excessive violence of the police.
Organizers accuse the police of instigating trouble. They also said that the Hong Kong government's strategy is to wait for them to get exhausted, but they insist this is highly unlikely.
Well, I think everyone's exhausted, even the police exhausted, to be honest. Well, to be honest, everyone's exhausted. But then, if you look at Hong Kong people, we are very tough. Although we feel tired, we'll still keep on fighting.
In the middle of the protest, News 5 noticed an Australian tourist who was holding a flag and a placard that read, "Australia support Hong Kong."
I see what's happening here and I want to stand with the Hong Kong people to say that they can't lose what they have already. They need their independence, they need their own civil rights. Just trying to show the Hong Kong people that people in Australia hear what they're saying, believe what they're saying, and are here trying to support them the best way we can.
Last Sunday's protest at Victoria Park caps the 11th straight weekend of demonstrations in Hong Kong. It was generally peaceful, a much-needed break from violent clashes between them and the police. Reporting for News 5 here in Hong Kong, Mian Los Baños, We Are One News.